Hello, students. So I wanted to talk a little bit about empathy. Empathy is just one of those counselor skills that we need to have. It's like counselor 101. If you can really remember like your first ever like counseling slash psychology slash social skill course, it always began with empathy. Why? Because empathy is such a key core counselor skill. It's kind of where we start. It sets the foundation for how we connect with our diverse client populations, our client populations that come from all facets of life. It's just a tool, a technique, a skill that we have so that we can really understand and put ourselves in the shoes of our client. And what that means is we're able to understand them, we're able to hear them, we're able to respect them, we're able to not judge them, we're able to understand the lens in their worldview, their belief systems, we're understanding, their footpaths and their journey. We're understanding their reasoning for their behaviors because we just simply are there to understand. And so empathy is really a key skill because we have to know how to understand, especially in counseling. How else can we help? How else can we support our clients if we don't understand them? We have to understand. And a lot of the understanding comes from us listening and comes from us not judging. We want to make sure that we do not judge our clients. That is so important. You guys, if you don't remember anything from this video, make sure that you do the work on your end so that you don't judge someone and that you don't put your biases within the client-counselor relationship. We're there to strengthen our client. We're there to help them to navigate through their path and through their journey. And we cannot do that when we have our own baggage that we have not even sorted out yet. So it's very, very important for us to be clear and to understand where we fall on the spectrum of even having a bias and just understanding the impact of cultural and individual differences. Empathy is that skill that we have to have, but also is a skill that has to remind us of where we are within our own personal and professional development. Our professional identity really matters, and it can make or break the counseling process with our client. So I wanted to go over empathy. A lot of times you will see this empathy worksheet document reflection off of the book of Eden, which is kind of like the handbook of social skills. It's the suggestions for responding with empathy. Remember that empathy is a value, a way of being, which should permeate the relationship in every aspect of your dialogue with the client. So you hold that dialogue valuable. You understand what it means to just be the client. You understand what it took for them to even talk to you because we hold value in there. Your empathic responses should flow naturally from your empathic relationship from your client. It is genuine. It is, again, it's a skill. So it's something that should be very genuine, something that should flow, something that should be in transition freely, and that it's something that you really shouldn't have to think that hard about. Be aware that empathic responding is a way of influencing your client. That connection is influential. Just think about when you're talking to someone and either they're encouraging or they're discouraging. That's influential for you. You want someone who will build bridges, not walls, especially if you're coming from a vulnerable space. You want to make sure that you're able to talk with that person and that they are encouraging you. Don't get lost in your communication skills. Keep the big picture in mind. We're trying to move along in a path of self-discovery. That's the goal. We want them to be able to live healthy and functional lives, and we want them to be able to manage their behavior. So keep your eye on that prize and the goal. Respond to the client in context and the part diversity plays in that context. So again, just make sure that you understand the impact of individual and cultural differences and that you make cultural influences and factors a part of the client treatment plan, a part of the counseling process. Again, culture is very important. So asking key questions that are direct and that are specific can help you to prepare in understanding the impact of culture as well. Tune in carefully, both physically and psychologically, and listen actively to the client's point of view. Again, it's about listening. We want to hear their thoughts. We want to hear their feelings. We want to hear how they feel about their patterns of behavior. And so make sure that you listen. Ask questions, but have an open ear and an open heart to listening. Make every effort to set your judgments and biases aside and walk in the shoes of the client. Like I said in the beginning, put your biases aside. This is a time for us to just be there for them. And if we do have some type of discomfort or distress, then we need to seek our appropriate consultation, our appropriate mentoring, and our appropriate training. Again, personal and professional development is not only necessary for the client, but it's necessary for us as well. So you want to make sure that you don't bring your baggage into the counseling process. It's about the client, not you. We do our own work on our time, not theirs. As the client speaks, listen especially for cultural voices and core messaging. Listen to the client. Ask questions, clarify, use summarization skills. Make sure that you're hearing your client correctly and accurately. They may be talking through their feelings. Give them time to process, even if it's sitting in silence for a minute or two, or maybe 3 minutes. Silence is golden. Let them be silent. That is a unique time for processing, and we want to give them that time. It's special and it's necessary. Pay attention to both verbal and nonverbal messages. They both mean so much. Nonverbal communication is about 80% of it. So we want to make sure that we're using our observational cues, that we're listening, but we're also observing those behaviors that words may not speak of. Use frequent but short responses that highlight the client's core messages. So you can say something as if, I feel as if you're thinking that this was wrong, or I feel that this has been hurtful for you. I'm hearing that you feel uncomfortable. So allow them that space to process further and for you to understand. Simply respond in short statements, just as I provided examples just now. Be flexible and tentative in your responses so that the client does not feel pinned down. Flexible in your responses, be creative. Make sure that you tailor your responses to what they just told you. So if you're hearing pain in their response, connect your response to a challenge or barrier or a hurt of some sort. If they're feeling angry, connect your response to anger. Or it sounds like this has been uncomfortable or caused distress for you. Tell me more about that. So you're allowing them to not only feel free, but to be welcoming in how they feel. Also, move gradually towards the exploration of sensitive topics. We want them to talk about their topics. We want them to talk about anything that is hurtful for them, but we also want them to be comfortable in doing so. So make sure that you move throughout the counseling process and asking those key questions that may be uncomfortable for them. If they're uncomfortable, just make sure that you're in good time. Timing is everything. Pace is everything. Make sure that we're moving with the client pace and not rushing them in order to make a quick, fast decision. Take special care, again, in client's personal culture. Note signs of client stress or resistant. If your client is becoming stressful or resistant, maybe it's time to hold off on asking those questions. Maybe do a reflection exercise. Maybe ask them if they need to take a break to maybe breathe or get a glass of water. Just make sure that you're picking up on those cues and that you continue that space of just rest and peace and balance. You want to create that climate for them and help them to stay in that space so that they can process how they feel and do it on their terms, not ours. And make sure that our responses are helping the client remain focused. We want them to do the work while in session with us. If they need to be at peace and be silent, we can do exercises that can accommodate that. If they're ready to talk, we can implement tools, techniques, strategies, exercises that will approach that. But at any rate, make your session useful and make sure that you tailor how you approach the counseling to how they're feeling. We can be creative in so many facets of this profession. Just make sure that you're meeting the needs of your client at that time. Keep in mind that the communication skill of responding with empathy is just one tool at the service of the overall goals of helping. So empathy is one skill that we have among many. It is the one thing that connects us to our client, but there's so many other things that we need to do, such as listening, being patient, being genuine, being authentic, having a presence, being positive, giving them insight, giving them training, giving them knowledge, having psychoeducational material, being resourceful. I mean, the list goes on and on. So just make sure that we're competent in being a counselor as well. Last but not least, use empathy in every stage and task of the helping process. Empathy should be used throughout the course of treatment, not just in the beginning stages, not just in the first stage. You want to use empathy every single time, every interaction throughout the course of your career, throughout the course of being a professional counselor, and also in the other areas of your life. Empathy is about understanding. It is such an important skill, and it can enhance your life as well. Putting ourselves in the shoes of our clients is, again, it's vital. It's pivotal in our professional identity. We have to connect with our clients. We have to show them that we care and that we're here to provide a service and support to them. Again, being a pioneer in the profession, I am a gatekeeper of this profession. I am a gatekeeper of the necessary skills that are really vital in having an effective counseling process and being effective in counseling. There's so many people that need our help, that need our skills, that need our competence, that need our guidance, that need our support. So we have to make sure that we sharpen our skills time and time again so that we are effective. Keep connected to current trends, professional practices, stay alert and aware of what's going on around you as well as what's going on inside of you. Take care of yourself, continue to learn, and continue to develop. This is Dr. K. Thank you.